Contrast uncut, yeah, you know that's us. Where we only speak the real and the real rock with us. Where we motivate the people and politic on success. Oh no, we ain't DJ Khaled, but they swearing we the best.
What's happening? It's Contrast Uncut. It's season 5, episode 17. I want to give a big shout outs to Uncle Snoop's Army and Bobby D Presents. I appreciate you, brothers. It's your host, Zylo. And today, we have an incredibly dope special guest. You hear me? I'm talking a father-daughter duo that is changing the way we hear things and becoming factors in the music game. I'm talking about they translated into 2 facilities, a hit-making atmospheres, and a reputation as one of the go-to studios in Los Angeles. They are owners of Killer Instinct Studios, where the likes of some of the biggest stars record at, like Lil Baby, Polo G, Da Baby, Big Sean, Party Next Door, Roddy Ricch. I'm talking about I could have a whole nother list of all the people that come here to these 2 facilities, and I wouldn't be able to run an intro and do this whole interview just because they are that smacking. And if you don't know who I got on the show by now, it's all good. We get all episode to chop it up with this mega father-daughter duo that's inspiring to motivate by relations and building within their own walls. I'm talking about the owners of Killer Instinct Studio, Tjay Owens and Tommy Tjay Lewis. How y'all doing?
Good.
Great.
Good.
Thank
good
you
to be
for having
here.
us.
Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate y'all. I mean, it was as soon as I walked in here, the aura was amazing. Like, you guys make sure people are comfortable, make sure they're confident, and I see why the greatness is coming out these walls.
Thank you. Yeah, the vibe in here, it's really important to us to make sure it's set.
I want to know, whose idea was it to make it the vibe, the point?
I think that, since I worked at a lot of different recording studio facilities, a lot of them are ran as business. That's the foundation of it. It's a business. But I know that, when we first kind of spearheaded this whole thing, I kind of wanted things to be different. And I don't want it to feel like a business when you walk into this facility. I want it to feel like a home, like, a safe place where you can just vibe. And that was really, really important.
I feel it. That was the first thing I felt. And to feel welcome somewhere is one of the greatest feelings you can have. Because you can go into an environment and feel unwelcome, and your room for creativity is shortened. Definitely. Your room for growth is shortened. That whole bill that you created is definitely going to get paid, and you're not going to have nothing to show for it.
Right.
And you guys definitely make it where it's an atmosphere that can be received. I got to tell you guys from the jump, time's the most finite thing we have on this earth. I appreciate you guys for 1, rocking with me, and 2, rocking with the viewers and the listeners. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate your interest, most definitely.
Come on, shoot. I know the owners of Killer Instinct, and it's on camera.
All right.
Being co-owners of Killer Instinct Studio, what is a normal 24 hours for you guys?
Wow. Probably inquiries. Inquiries, are time consuming because you get people that are interested, but it's getting that confirmation is what takes it a long time. Okay, do you guys have availability? Yes, we have availability. Okay, well, I'm gonna get back with you. Okay, can you hold this for us? This time, from this time to this time. Okay, then we're getting inquiries, and now we're going back trying to say, okay, do you guys have any ideas as far as if you're gonna book or not? And and preparing. Making sure that everything's going to be set so that the artist gets here and feels comfortable, and we have the fruit bowl set out and everything else, the water, sodas, everything set for them. But
that's Southern hospitality.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you that because I've interviewed people and they've been in the studio and they will be 1, upset there's no fruit, so someone's running to go buy fruit, or 2, there's fruit there and they scream about it. I love this place. They'll yell at the A&R, the manager, we're coming back here again.
Right.
They already knew what I wanted. They don't even know me.
Yes. No, that's hospitality is important. Knowing that there's no normal 24 hours in this business, that's true. But for us, it was like just piggybacking off of what he said. He's right. It's inquiries, it's invoicing and going back and forth with the labels, the A&Rs or their management teams. trying to make sure that our staff is, just being managed. That is like a whole job in itself, making sure that they're fully trained the right way, and people are on the schedule, and just payroll, just managing this, just engineers and assistant engineers and studio runners in itself is like a whole thing. Them contacting me, contacting him, getting calls all the time like, oh, I had an emergency or this and that. So today is full of that. It's also just the general maintenance, the upkeep of the facilities. That's important. The gear, making sure that things are being kept up and gear's not broken, or if it is, we need to get this fixed. We need to make sure we have extra of this, extra of that. There's a lot that goes into it.
She said employees. She said inventory. She said scheduling. She said logistics. And then he said, I got to deal with it all.
Yeah.
No, that's wild. Now, how do you guys create times for yourself because I know we all know studios are running 24 hours.
Right. Yeah.
Availability is your best ability, and having 24-hour blocks, 8-hour sessions, 12-hour sessions, it fills up quick. Mm-hmm. So how are you guys able to balance yourself and still do what you want to do for yourself as well as for you, and have that room to grow?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is a lot of times we don't have to be, right there. We can work from different locations. Just by making a phone call or jumping on the computer, or, we don't have to be, on point to make things go. So a lot of times we might find ourselves on a vacation where we're trying to still work it. You know what I mean? Taking bookings and, trying to update the schedule and,
I saw this meme. It says that for all the people that are really entrepreneurs, there is no vacation because you're going to work on it.
Right.
And then he has a picture of a cell phone in one hand and the laptop in front of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Making sure that Wi-Fi is right.
Come on. Come on. Priceless.
Yeah.
That's definitely important. I think, too, that it also speaks to the staff and the team we've been able to build, because we really have to rely on our engineers, our assistant engineers, our runners, like the hearts of the studio. They make things run very smoothly, and they allow us to be able to be like, okay, we don't have to be on site. We can trust you to make sure things are running functionally and efficiently, and we just stay in contact as much as we can. We do pop up as much as we can to make sure things are running smoothly too, but at the same time we don't like to be in the artist's way. That is a big thing too. Again, we don't want it to feel like it's business. This is a home friendly environment where the artist is creating and stuff, so they don't want to see that the owner and manager is constantly there, so it's just also giving them that freedom and space as well.
I love it. It's like having an Airbnb and knowing the owner's not going to come by.
No, really, because that's the only way you're going to feel comfortable.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, helps out with the vibe, helps them to create, gets them in a comfortable state to where they can really make some hits.
It's nothing like, for me, I do music videos and we'll rent an Airbnb mansion out and then the owner's there and they'd be like, oh, you can't move that, let me move it.
Right.
So we gotta wait 20 minutes for you to get some help when we're here to move it?
It's
but
that,
we don't want y'all moving nothing in here. Maybe that chair around that mic so you're more comfortable, but don't be moving stuff in here.
Right.
It's that fine line of them knowing that like we're here to help if anything is needed, emergency, whatever, but also giving them that space to breathe.
I love it. I love seeing the family atmosphere. I love seeing the family business. The father-daughter duo, you keep on hearing me say that. I'm a father. I grew up without a dad. I have a son and a daughter. And like my son, he's into sports. He loves a little bit of music. But my daughter, into music, heavy. She's TikTok, dancing. She's 4 years old. She's singing songs back. She's verbally saying the cuss words, but not letting no words come out.
Yeah.
And so, that whole thing, I'm like, when I saw that not only that how this dynamic is ran, it made me really gravitate to you guys because it allowed me to say, hey, I can build with them because they're establishing something to inspire and to motivate. They're making fathers really emphasize on spending time with their daughter. It's a bigger board where less men stay around for their daughters. They'll stay around for someone they don't like because it's a son, but they won't do it for a daughter. It's a sad statistic. And, you guys are motivating to break that cycle. And so I gotta make sure I give you your flowers for being a dedicated father and really inspiring that ability to have your daughter grow up in an atmosphere where she can love and obtain something she wants to do with her life.
Appreciate it. Some of the best times of my life, that's for sure.
Come on, come on. I hope I have a lot of them because my daughter knows I'm one of them crazy fathers that be there with the gun. I'm going to have my partners with me. They going to have some guns.
Right.
It's going to be some bad boys in.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I ain't playing.
Right.
But most importantly, you brought the business venture to your daughter as well. You let her know that there's money in this game and she can reach it. And a lot of the times people keep that swept underneath the rug. They got it buried down a hatchet and only 5 people can get it. And there's a code at the bottom too. And by you guys cracking open that door, it really inspires and it really creates the ability to motivate. I just got to make sure I give you guys your flowers for that because that is incredible. I can't say that enough.
Appreciate that.
100%.
Yeah, I think as Tia was growing up, of course, you know, a lot of kids want to be that big artist, you know, and which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But you also want to let them know that there's other things that they can do as well. You know what I mean? And don't let anybody box you in. You know, I mean, that's been big for me as far as, you know, letting her know, okay, you know, that, well, they, you know, a lot of people tell, you know, she's saying, Dad, a lot of people tell me just I need to just focus on this and don't let anything else distract me. You know, I was like, you can do that. But if that's what they're saying, that's just what they're saying. I don't believe that you should have to mainly focus on that. You know, broaden it out. Who says you can't just do this and that? You know what I mean? Be the best at both. You know, or this, that, and that. You know, just it kind of falls along the lines of Jay-Z's. I think he was talking about something to that effect as far as people saying that he couldn't do something, and he said it was more towards their fears. You know, I feel kind of the same way to where, you know, just because they tell you that, you know, you should do that, maybe that's because they can't do that, and that. You know what I mean? So, you know, don't let nobody hold you back as far as trying to reach your dreams and accomplish, you know, some of the stuff that you want to accomplish, no matter what it is, you know.
You complimented her foundation. And you made it where something that's very hard for other people, really easy for her to understand it was a gift. And a lot of people pretty much said, let me throw some cars in the road. Let me throw some potholes in there. Let's slow her down because she doesn't know she has it, but she does. And other people be the first person to point at the screen from the couch and talk about something instead of being the person on the sideline in the game making a difference.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
No, I love that. I love that you put that energy into it. I got a quote. Let me know how this quote relates to you guys, or if it doesn't, the ideas I want you to talk about it. But I take quotes and I go with the spirit, and I'm like on a winning streak. So let me know how it relates to you and just, you know, let's talk about it. It's strictly business in this game. Still, they fake and friendly. Don't let them take advantage of you and it make them envy. Rest in peace, Nip the Great, Nipsey Hussle. I'm going to run that back.
Okay.
It's strictly business in this game. Still, they fake and friendly. Don't let them take advantage of you and make them envy you. Nip the Great.
Yeah. No, I like it.
Nip the Great.
Yeah. It's a cold game. It's a cold game. You know what I mean? And you got to kind of, you know,
It's a cold legal game.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to take it for what it is. Definitely. You got to take it for what it is and kind of sift through the madness, you know, because you're going to run across people that might not have your best, you know, your best intentions aligned with, you know, what they're doing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or what they're wanting. So you just kind of have to kind of sift through it all and do your best as far as making that decision for yourself. You're going to run across people that you disagree with, and people that might want to just use you. You know what I mean? And again, it's just, you know, trying to work it out to where, you know, you could kind of distance yourself and not let it frustrate you. And kind of understand that that's what you're going to run into sometimes, you know. And it's not even all about just being in the whole music industry or entertainment industry. You know, it's in life. You know what I mean? I had people that would tell me, why you want to be involved in that, or why do you want your daughter to be involved in that? same thing happens if she was working at the bank or at the grocery store. You're still gonna run across petty people, you know, or people that you know aren't maybe as solid as you know. So, you know, it's just one of those things that you just kind of gotta, you know, see through and keep pushing.
For the record, you guys would have owned the bank. You guys would have owned the restaurant. That would have owned whatever the hell you guys touch. Because you guys understand the foundation of making something greater and filling the void. And by filling the void, you're going to get a lot of growth. I mean, as we all know, Killer Instincts hasn't been around for too long. And it is one of the fastest growing places I hear people talking about. And, you know, Roddy Racks was just here. I work with Roddy Racks, and we work with Vince Ash. And, like, you know, to see these people that are coming out here from other states and they're finding a home here, it's just, once again, a testimony of what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I got to know, talking about the music game, did the music game choose you guys, or did y'all choose the game?
I think we chose each other.
Why?
I think that I definitely, especially, you know, in the beginning, I would have said in the early stages, I think I would have said, oh, I choose the game, you know? But I think that as time has gone on and even just like where we're at, like with Killer Instinct Studios, that wasn't something I envisioned to happen now. I envisioned that to happen. I think we always talk about this. We envisioned having a studio like later down the line. But it goes to say like how I feel like we chose each other. You know, I worked as much as I could in the industry, and, you know, opportunities presented itself to where I kind of feel like it did choose me. We chose each other. We were able to, like, in a way, opportunities came and I was able to take advantage of them, and he was able to take advantage of them as well. And, you know, it just seemed like it was a mutual thing for it to be able to work out the way it has.
I love it. It was natural. It was organic.
It was organic. That's really how I feel. Not to say that there wasn't hard times and there wasn't bumpy roads and it wasn't hard to get to this point, but at the same time, things had to work out the way they did for us to get here.
Come on, when you put in work, you're surviving. And then as the work continues to showcase what you are and your work ethic, you go to thriving. And then I feel like you transition yourself to be in a position, well, how do I get to that next pinnacle?
Right.
I learned this way. I seen how they're doing it. That's great. But I feel like my niche is still around the corner. And you kept on going around the corner until you found, oh, this is my perfect home. Let me build another one. Let me build another one.
It's the journey, you know. The journey, everybody's journey is different, you know what I mean? And throughout that journey, opportunities fall into place, you know what I mean? And it's up to you whether you take advantage of those opportunities or not, you know what I mean? And with certain opportunities that fell into place, you know, we couldn't help but take advantage of it. And that's what happened with this here, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those situations where the opportunity presented itself and we had to jump on it.
I say opportunities are as rare as money on the ground.
Man.
And when you do see it, you grab it, you know, you make sure that it's for you. Majority of the time it's for you. Some people get ignorant and they be like, oh, I need to have everybody come with me. They don't realize that blessing was just for you.
Yeah.
And then you guys were able to take blessings for each of you guys and merge.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
TJ, I know you have experience in the music game prior as a manager, and I know, Tia, you have extensive experience as executive assistant at Good Music. That's phenomenal. Studio manager at the Prestige Paramount, to A&R and Records, allowing your ear to shine. What would you guys consider your first confirmation that this is the route you guys are supposed to go into? And, you know, let me know where you was like the light bulb went off.
As for me, I don't even know if there was really a confirmation. It was just having the love and the interest as far as going after it, you know.
With something that's not for you, you won't get a confirmation.
Yeah.
You'll get insanity. You'll keep on trying to do something and force it, and it won't work.
Exactly, and that's why I felt that way, because it just was something that made me feel good going after it, you know. Me being from Colorado, having to make a trip out here all the time to try to meet people and make something work, and you know what I mean. I always felt like I had to go back with some type of progress. You know what I mean?
Right.
There had to be something that I had to, whether it was me coming out here networking and growing up, I wasn't the best at networking. You know, I was the type of person that was really to myself. You know what I mean? I had to work at talking to people, and you know, I just had that type of attitude to where I just really didn't really want to be bothered with anybody. But
Introvert, true introvert.
True introvert. So, you know, to get out of that, it was something that I had to work on as far as really coming out and really meeting people and you know, extending myself to introduce myself, you know, just to meet people. And if I went back with a few numbers and some type of progress and hit a few events, then that was progress to me. You know what I mean? And working with different artists and really trying to get in there and trying to get that artist in a situation. You know what I mean? But all in all, I mean, I love it. I've always loved it, and that's the main thing. It always made me feel good.
You know what I realized you're saying? It hit me right now. Your confirmation was your comfort zone because you found something that made you comfortable to bring what you feel inside out, comfortable enough to speak to people about it.
Yeah. Yeah, to a certain extent. I think the comfortness, because a lot of times it wasn't comfortable coming out here, and it wasn't comfortable going places that I really didn't know. You know what I mean? There was a comfort for the love. You know what I mean? But if that makes sense. But
Oh, yeah.
but you know, really acting on it was outside the comfort. You know what I mean? It wasn't comfortable for me to talk to people, to go, you know,
The sacrifices,
yeah,
the
to
risks.
introduce, yeah, the sacrifices, the risks, the, you know, all that comes with it. I mean, you know, knowing even financially, you know, coming out and knowing that, you know, all right, I'm gonna be sleeping in my rental for a couple of days. You know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah, it's kind of stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just, you know.
It
but
humbles you.
It definitely does. But when I go back, when I'm going back home, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy. I don't want to leave, even though I'm struggling and trying to, you know, it's like, oh man, I gotta go back. But I have to go back to make some more money to where, you know, I can make this trip again.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know.
So
That's part of the
Tia,
journey.
for you growing up and seeing your dad sacrifice and chase the sleepless dream that he made a reality for himself, how was it for you in going to school and be like, my dad's in LA, my dad's working?
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, I loved it. I was always proud of everything that he was able to do, and I know I wanted to be right there with him as soon as I could. Always begging him, can you take me to California? When are we going? Let's go. I just remember the first time he took me out here, I just fell in love. I was like, this is where I want to be. This is where I'm gonna be in the music business. I'm gonna be impactful in some way, somehow. We're gonna make it happen. Back to the whole confirmation thing. I think for me, I never felt like I needed a confirmation. I just always felt like this is what I want to do and I'm going to just do it. And there was so many hard times where I didn't get that confirmation. I didn't get that job from Universal that I applied for 20 times. I didn't get this or that, or nothing came out of this internship, or nothing came out of that, but it didn't matter because I didn't need any validation or confirmation. I just knew what I wanted to do and the support I had to keep going, even when it was hard, even when I was crying about it, or if I felt defeated for a moment. It was just like, all right, pick myself up, like, let's just keep pushing. And I think I got that from him by seeing him take those countless trips and sacrificing to save up and to, you know, come out here just to network or just to take these like little steps to get further. And it just shows you, like, you just got to keep working. You may not see those results till much later. You may not get that confirmation till way down the road, but it doesn't matter because eventually you will if you keep knocking down that door, taking those steps.
Yeah, exactly. You somewhat manifest or you have a visionary of like, hey, my feet need to match this certain floor, and I see it. But until I look down and I know that's that, it's not going to register that it's real.
Right.
And, you know, that is a blessing in disguise because what's not for you, you won't have.
Mm-hmm.
And so Universal was not for you.
Right.
You know,
There are so many things in this business that I wanted to be for me or that I thought were going to be for me that just weren't for me. But it, you know, I kept trying to find my place,
But you ended up at Universal, right?
And yeah, I ended up
Anyway.
at Republic Records, but I'm saying that like all the other jobs, whether I applied to at you know, like the Warners and Sony and other places, you know, like especially coming out of college, you're just applying, you know. So there were so many other opportunities that I really wanted that I thought were for me that just like weren't for me. But to me, it was like, all right, doesn't matter. I'm gonna just keep applying, or I'm gonna make our own way. And I think that's really been a huge theme of like my journey is like things never really worked out the way I thought they were going to, and I always had to just make my own way, pave my own path, create my own opportunities, create my own door to be able to walk through. And I think that was something that he really taught me too. Is just, you know, if you can't go through the front door, go through the back. It's that simple. Like just figure it out.
Exactly. You know, I always grew up where I grew up poor, and there was a point my parents got arrested. My sister took care of, she got arrested. I was living with my friends just so I can graduate. And that whole senior year of mine, I got straight A's. I did everything. Like, I was in the school from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. sometimes. And just because I'm pouring all my energy into it. And I made the excuse the reason why to do it. The excuse of, hey, I'm struggling or my family's doing bad, the way to get out of it is to go to school. At that point, that's all I thought it was.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you get that prerogative, that intuition to keep on going. And I lost sight of that as you start to have people recognize you. I was in the newspaper. I got a lot of spotlight, and I didn't necessarily like it. And it put a spotlight on me, so I thought I was just free willy-nilly to do whatever I want. I was invincible. And then I get arrested for robbing somebody, and it changed the whole perception. And then you're quickly upside down.
Right.
And then you got to build. And then I got blessed and still ended up going to college, and I messed it up again. And, you know, the whole process, that I feel like that wasn't right for me. That wasn't what was in the plan for me. I feel like, you know, the way I was raised and the way I was brought up, it didn't align to what people were trying to do for me. It was supposed to come the way how I wanted it to come. And it was a much longer way. I had to paddle a lot longer. I had to see a lot more things. You had to sit down for a while, but through that whole process, it made me stand tall with a backbone versus seeing a whole bunch of people in the game that they put their head down and everyone moved past them.
Yep.
And so as I'm building like a little bit about myself, I wanted to make sure we spend time speaking just a little bit more on your guys' journey on arriving to Killer Instinct, where you guys took your killer instinct and you guys, you know, attacked the prey. And, you know, now we're at 2 facilities. You guys are booked up. And, you know, I definitely want to get to that area where it took to transfer over that light. Who wants to start?
Who is
Yeah. Well, I think the whole killer instinct. I'm gonna take you from the beginning. Really, I I always wanted to have something. You always want to have something to pass down to you know, your kids. You know what I mean? And with me, I wasn't sure what I would have. It used to be one of those things that would cross my mind. I want to be able to have something for her. And so I was like, I'm gonna just make a business. You know. And so, you know, the business is called, well, first off, I wanted to have something that represented her to me. And I tried to come up with different names, and the closest thing that I could come up with was how she was, and her drive and her passion and her going through school and everything that she attacked and accomplished. And she reminded me of like a Kobe Bryant, a Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods. They all have that killer instinct, you know what I mean? And when I seen them, of course, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, personally, is like just having that killer instinct, you know? So I remember looking it up one day in the dictionary, and the definition was the ruthless determination to win or succeed. It fit her, you know what I mean? And so I named it that. So it was Killer Instinct Entertainment. That was the whole thing, because, you know, we were going into trying to manage artists, and of course the studio game wasn't even, you know, a thought at that time. Right. But we knew we wanted to be in the industry, you know. So the business, we named it Killer Instinct